Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Hazel and Aka Design. If it looks like there's been an explosion here, you wouldn't be far off the mark. I, I've said that I've never done a Christmas journal before. I'm into it. I, I have to say, though, that I was always one of those people that thought, oh my goodness, like what's with the merchandising in the stores, Halloween isn't even over and they've got Christmas stuff out. And, with every progressive holiday. But of course, I've been in retail and I understand that the window for selling this stuff is very narrow. So I get all that. I think I have managed to find all my Christmas stuff, and I have been in the process of trying to do a few things, sort a few things, and I just wanted to sort of get on here and show you kind of what I found, and also maybe reassure people that that most of us already have a lot of stuff just in regular items that we own already that aren't specific to, that didn't have to be bought as a journal supply as such. So I'm going to try to tackle some of these things here, and hopefully this will be of some benefit to you. So I think it was last year that I came across, there must have been one of those, sort of post-death or a downsizing type of donation probably that the kids did, when mother moved, either died or moved into long-term care or whatever, because there was all these crafting supplies. A lot of them were, Stampers Anonymous type stuff. And that haul, considering that I was never a Christmas journal person, was just unreal. And it was almost ludicrous that almost everything was snowflake related. This is just a couple of the punches. I probably didn't even bring the others into this room yet. Punches and page edgers and so on. Snowflakes. There were these sort of cling stamps. This doesn't belong here. Some dies, that sort of thing. Now, I said I was going to talk about things that aren't necessary to purchase, and I will get to that. But I'm going to go through this pile as I touch these things. I went through my washi tape, and I basically picked, like some of these are specific to Christmas, like this little skinny one here says Merry Christmas. But there are others that could very easily be adapted to using, what is that? That's a poinsettia. So, look at your washi tape stash with fresh eyes, and you may see that there are some there, that will lend themselves to Christmas weather, or, without having to go out and buy any specific ones. So these, glitter and shine is part of the holiday too, as far as I'm concerned. So there's that. I also, those of us who thrift also quite often get grab bags of stuff. And one of the things about that is you never really know, the way they package things in these places, you never really know what you're going to get until you get it home and open it up. So as I guess you probably can't see it again. Okay, let me make a little more order here. These are, I showed you the other day all those calendar pages. Well, I've basically been trying to, make sense of this, fussy cut them a bit. You can't even tell that these are calendars. Anyway, so there were those borders around those big Victorian calendars. So I've done some fussy cutting, so these things are ready to go. There are these little Norman Rockwell things that are ready to go. Now, again, some of these may not be perfect as they are, but we know that we just put something over it and it is fine. So calendars are something that each of us might have access to. Christmas cards, new or used, obviously fall in that category as well. Now, I know that there are far fewer cards being mailed because the postage is expensive. But I don't know of anyone who really throws away Christmas cards, so I'm sure that you've got some that you received years ago that you can use in this new way. I said that my first journal, my first Christmas journal would be in this binder. So I went through, just found it by accident because I was looking for something else. A bunch of these pages, sort of specialty papers that I had embossed. And you might think, well, those really aren't Christmas colors. Well, I might have a plan for them. So these are just sort of brown paper. There is some cardstock here. This is just some sort of fancier paper. So again, look at things with a fresh eye. You know, it doesn't have to be red and green. Like, I know that my decorations on my tree, and this has evolved over time. Of course, when the kids were young and making things in school and you're catering to, you know, what children want, the tree looked a lot different than it does now. Now it's more like I don't want to say a fashion statement, but it's my taste. So it's more sophisticated. It is, you know, colors that work in my home, colors that I love, textures and materials that I love. So, and those colors, merchandise or, you know, manufacturers and store merchandisers, they're no fools. They're going to give the buying public what they want, and they're going to also create this artificial need for us to keep buying something new and something different. Anyway, all of that to say, don't feel the need to limit your color scheme. So this, of course, is a ring-bound journal or recipe book, and I started going through some I created some pages already. So this was 12-inch scrapbooking paper, and I kind of lost my mind momentarily. I started tearing these in half, which means they're 6 inches wide, which means they're fine in here, and I turned them over and made some pockets. I had a scrap of this lace. It seemed to work perfectly here. Let me just move this over a bit in case you, to make it easier to see. You know what? Let me just see what you can see. Maybe I'll try to raise this up a bit. Okay. I thought I had a different plan for this, but whatever. I had this paper, not that attractive in my opinion, but lightweight, so I ended up making these. I thought I did 4 of them, but maybe not. So just basically tearing the paper to the right height, and then folding them and making these pockets. So I have 2 that open on the side and this one that opens on the top. So that will be fine. Then I had a couple, 2 sheets, I think, of this paper, which is really lovely. Tore it in half lengthwise because of the way the pattern was printed. And again, turned these in to pockets. So depending where the notch is, that tells you where it opens up. So love those. And then basically, that's all I got to show you here. I have found scraps of paper you know, so this I will use somewhere. I found a digital. Now, don't ask me where this came from because it's years old. These are Christmas tickets. So basically, I just trimmed them into, or cut them down into strips. And of course, we'll separate them and punch out the little circle there. So there's that I can use. At one time, I had never heard of Ideals magazines, but probably 2 or 3 years ago, no, it must have been post-COVID, I came across some of them at a Restore, Habitat for Humanity store, and bought all of them. Anyway, because I always thought I was being so proactive, excuse me, by taking things apart ahead of time. So then the other day I went through them. I found them. I went through all the torn sheets and pulled out the ones that were applicable to Christmas. Now this is just the cardstock cover from one Ideals Christmas. And I was hoping, because this is good, and it's printed on both sides and it's good, I'm thinking about maybe turning these into writing boards. Now, it's not as heavy as a person would ideally want it to be, but that's what I'm thinking about for there. So I have all of these pages that are waiting to be dealt with. So, you know, depending on where I decide to use this, because I have a suspicion that this Christmas thing is going to turn into a tree thing and that there will be multiple journals. So for those pages that lend themselves like this to a tall skinny, you know, that would have to be the format there. That could work, you know, with both sides. Others, okay, this says Valentine on it, so clearly if I'm using this side, I would probably, you know, cover this with something else. So there are all those. I also looked through my 12 by 12 papers, and again, this one makes me think of Christmas, even though there's nothing really here that would say that. Red with a kind of a gold, you know, a subtle gold swirly design. I have lots of those. I know I got them cheap as borscht, so those should be used somewhere. And these greens, you know, maybe that's not a Christmas green, but hey, so what? So pages like this could also be used. So I just have, you know, I've grabbed up all these things, and honestly, I don't have an inch of space to move here. I also am, you know, I've never been this late in packing for my retreat either, but that's okay. I'll get it done. So I'm trying to figure out what I can reasonably take with me. Okay, so we're still talking about things that we can do it, you know, that we either already own or we can repurpose. So this is a really cute idea. Didn't realize I had it. And this is obviously a prototype of a pocket with this journaling card. Uses these sort of chipboard letters. So as I was going through this stuff, I knew darn well that I hadn't made it, but I found the makings for a few more of these. So I have more letters that say joy. I even found more of this paper, so I'll probably make a few more of these based on this sample. So this would have come in a grab bag. Totally forgot I owned it. This pouch is, well, okay, that's wrapping paper. These are Christmas gift bags that I clearly took apart. So if you've been the recipient of a gift, you probably have a bunch of gift bags available to you that you can take apart. Now, some of these creases are pretty, you know, definite. So But wouldn't it be great to just either fussy cut around a big object like that or cut this down? You know, we use what we have is basically what I'm saying. Or if a person is doing a Christmas masterboard, so you rip these balls that have the crease through them, and you run it off the edge of your page. Nothing has to go to waste. You know, we know that whether a person is creating snippet rolls or clusters or tag toppers or whatever, you can use the teeny weeniest little bit of paper to make something happen, like to finish off a piece. Now this one, I probably didn't need to save all this cardboard. But again, I saved all these. The bag itself has sort of glitter on it. And I left it like this because, you know, this in itself could turn itself into a, not itself, but, you know, it could be a journal cover. I left all my options open when I deconstructed it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And again, totally forgot that I did this. Here's another bag. You know, cute little, what do you call them? Snowman and a little baby one. And then this is a totally different feel. So you can see how, depending on what you choose, 3 or 4 totally different directions that your project could go. Unless, of course, you're doing eclectic or you're doing something based on color. So there's that. And the weight is light enough that if a person just wanted to use these for journaling cards or whatever, that would work as well. It doesn't have to, you know, be a cover. And if it is being used for a cover, it would probably have to be, you know, reinforced and made a little stronger. Okay, so here's another thing, and obviously my sorting devices here aren't that great. Another little gift bag, a bookmark. Oh, I shouldn't be showing you these. These were Christmas photo cards. I don't recall ever seeing this, but clearly I guess I bought it. So it must have been in a craft grab bag. So somebody has stamped this, make it look like a postcard. It's scored, which you probably can't see. But, like, there's a whole whack of these. Like, the work has... Now, these... Okay, so these things are stickers on cardstock. So, I'd be a fool not to use this. Even these kinds of gift tags or these small things. You don't have to, you know... It doesn't have to be a name brand design company to be able to use it. This feels like I don't think it says Christmas anywhere on it, but it's definitely winter themed. So kids with snowball fights or tobogganing or whatever. So those are stickers that can be used. Oh, this is the makings for this. So it's already somebody, you know, pre-cut it and scored it. I just have to finish it. I don't recall where I got these. Usually to save space, I cut the packaging off. But there are 6 sheets of stickers. Again, or 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Didn't pay through the nose for this. And these... Like, they're lovely. I hope the glare isn't too bad. These borders. Glue them down, or maybe they're... Okay, these are stickers. These are... I guess they're all stickers. So glue them down to the side of a page. Already got a decoration. Here are some punch... No, these are stickers, too. Different little, okay, happy holiday. So a few sentiments, you know, cute little cottage, spruce trees, blah, blah, blah. So you can see how past thrifted purchases, let me get those nieces and nephews out of there, can turn into something where a lot of the work has been done for you. Okay, what's in this one? So at some point, I must have pulled out some 6x6s or fancier paper that I thought had Christmas possibilities. Again, because of the, you know, the colors. To me, well, this one has holly on it even. So, again, red, gold, 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 silver, a green, even though it's not, you know, a Christmas green. These things all can be part of whatever it is that we're creating. Now this, okay, my husband, I won't show you the address, but this obviously was an envelope. So I should save those stamps. I took it apart and look what was inside. So actually, could I not, like by covering that address, could I not turn this back into, like turn it inside out? Oh, for heaven's sake. There's an envelope. Or if I choose not to use it, there's a template for cutting an envelope. A few years ago, I went to a garage sale, and it was in the great outdoors. The woman had millions of items. I did this in one of my earliest videos. It was the haul was unbelievable, and she did not have prices on anything. She asked for an offer at the end. And so, you know, my sister was there and she got a bunch of stuff. I mean, not crafting stuff, but anyway, it all seemed very good. Stickers and paper and you name it. Oodles and oodles of stuff. However, when you get it home into the fresh, sweet air of your own home, you realize, oh dear, she was a smoker. So it took a long, long time to get rid of that smell. However, she had the habit, I guess, of displaying all her stickers on pages like this. So these things are sort of, I don't know what they're tacked down with, but anyway, so I found all these that are Christmas related. So I'll be using these. Here's some dimensional ones. Found these stencils. Now these are pretty, I don't know what you can see here. I mean, it's just a paper stencil. Pretty kind of, I wanted to say primitive, but that's not the right word. Pretty basic, almost juvenile in a sense. Oh, these. Who hasn't bought or received or whatever these kinds of velvet bows? We can do better than that little foil twist tie, though. Here's one with a name. Well, there's a brass one I didn't know I had. Excuse me. This one with gifts. What is this? I don't know what that is. A little snowflake stencil. So something like this, this could easily go in with my retreat stuff, because just doing a few, excuse me, a few snowflake stencils on the side of a page can make the difference between decorated or not. This is, well, you can't see that, but that's a cherub, or yeah, I guess a cherub. So there's that. A few more things to show you. And once these sticker pages are removed, there will be this marbly, you know, this, whatever this paper is, it almost feels like parchment or something, that can be used as well. Okay, in this bag, see, I didn't know that I put all this stuff in a bag. Eat, drink, and be merry. So a lot of, oh, those are address labels. So a lot of these, oh my goodness. Look at all these stickers. Look at all these gift labels. And then I wonder why, when I was wrapping presents last year, I couldn't find a label to save my life, because they were all in a bag, waiting to be crafted with, I guess. So again, you may not have as much of this right now, but we also know that there will be things going on sale long before Christmas comes, as well as all the clearance sales. Like in Canada, of course, Boxing Day is a big, big deal. So that's December 26th. And Boxing Day has, of course, grown from one day into many days, or until the stuff is gone. So, I mean, stickers of every size, style, and description. Excuse me. Like, I know that I was hoarding these. These are years old. There's no date on them, but, you know, that sort of nature thing. I made it myself. Yeah, right. Don't get too excited. It's a gift from me, remember? Please excuse the wrapping job. It was done by a man. I hope you like it. I lost the receipt. Hurry and open this before what's inside dies. Handle with care. It won't be paid for till spring. So, you know, kind of a little bit snarky stuff there. But hey, there's room in the world for a little bit of snark every so often. Especially if it's done, you know, the right way. So again, like these are so old, you have no idea how old these are. Provo Craft, no date on it, but I've had those probably for 15, 20 years. Anyway, you know what stickers and labels look like. I don't need to. Do I save every little itty bitty thing? Apparently, yes. On these that have my name and address, I have been known to cut the decorative part off and use that. So it's all good. Let me just shove this back in a bag. At least now I'll know where my labels are for gifts this year. Okay, now this next pile is wrapping paper. Now, I don't know whether some of this was actually mine or if I specifically bought it as an assortment. I know I prefer, just from a storage perspective, I prefer to buy gift wrap that is folded as opposed to those rolls. But you can tell that's old. This is not as old. Houndstooth. This is old. So these papers that I'm showing you, they could be masterboards. They could be part of collages on pages. Again, you know what paper looks like. Even this plaid could work, probably. This is this tissue paper? Yeah, I'd say that's tissue paper. Then there's, you know, I've got a sheet of that. I don't know where that came from. And some of these, if I have not I still think that I might have not located some fussy cut stuff that I did in the past, because on paper like this that is has such distinct patterns, fussy cutting or fussy tearing these things is pretty easy. And you can see that I did some of that, but God alone knows where I stored it, because I certainly haven't found it. You know that I like wrapping paper that has these sorts of things because it's a no-brainer. You can choose to use, like from those doves, make that a thing, or you use the inner part and use these holly things as little borders or whatever. Look at this. Does that not just scream old-timey? Got a fair bit of that. So I'm sure this is tissue paper. I think that might be tissue paper as well. Yeah, maybe. So I'll be packing some of this up to take with me because, of course, I will be working on Christmas journals when I'm doing my retreat. This is another one of those that could easily be torn. I don't think I'd want to be cutting around those candies. This looks pretty darn old. It feels old. This is old. This is beautiful. Not my favorite, but look at this. There's a whole whack of this. Now, because these sort of overlap each other, it's not as easy. We don't want to decapitate Santa there, but we all know how to do this to maximize the yield. Let's just say that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do later today is spread all this stuff out on my bed, make piles. What am I keeping here? What am I taking with me? I did promise you at one point that I would do sort of a packing video. That has to happen yet. Okay, the other thing I did was I found my fabric. So I'll give you a quick look at that. And again, show you the possibilities that may not occur to you right off the bat. So I bought this at some point, and it was like a hot dish pad. So I took it apart. I had taken the guts, the batting out of it before, but this piping was still all around it. So I took that apart. So I do have this. I don't know if I'll use it because that's a pretty thick cord. That's 1/4 inch. But look at how lovely this is. This could be a journal cover, people. It is like an upholstery weight fabric. Wouldn't that be sweet? I've got this green if I needed a piece of dark green. So there's that. These, I forgot that I had these, but they must have been like quilt squares. So there are a bunch of those. Now, I should have looked this up before I started this. I don't know if you can see this word. Okay, here's this angel. F-R-A-H. This is like an eye test. I don't know, is that an E and an S? And then, I don't know, not sure what that says. Feast or fest. But I didn't measure her. She's awfully tall. Well, 12 inches. Could you see this not being could you see this as part of a tall, skinny cover. And I don't know where and when I got this, but if this doesn't make sense in terms of Christmas, then it's easy enough to cover it. But like, I would never use something of my own, something that I like blood, sweat, and had put blood, sweat, and tears into. But if I got this for thrift store prices, I'd say it's fair game to use. So there's that. I did a thrift haul the other day. Oh, you wouldn't have seen it yet. It hasn't been, like, it's scheduled, but it's not up there yet. Anyway, there were 3 different fabrics in there. I would say they were at least 1 yard, 1 meter in size. So I washed them and I did some ironing this morning. So what I did, because the pieces were so big, is I just randomly, I didn't even measure, just cut a snip, tore a snip off, and thought, well, I can take this with me and use these for fabric flips, or, you know, what, I won't have a sewing machine there, obviously, but I can glue them down or whatever. So there's this with the birds and the berries. Poinsettias on this black background, which is pretty dramatic, and sometimes we want drama. And these, it looks very, you have to sort of pay attention to see what it really is. So it's a tree, like in a pot, poinsettias, I guess, in pots. So it's just kind of, and if I'm not mistaken, oh, and don't you just love those little trucks? Like, it's so, maybe not on this one. A few of these things that I ironed today had the cutest little, I don't know what those things are called. I guess it's for getting the colors right when they're printing the fabric. But yeah, those little trucks. Cats meow, man. So there's that. I think I might have shown you this fabric the other day. So this is just, like, I've now washed and ironed all this. So I'll be taking some of these pieces with me. This is something smaller, but again, the possibilities. You know, this could definitely be a journal cover, I'm sure. 15 inches wide, so definitely, and even have enough to turn into, to have it, you know, inside pockets. Height-wise, it is, well, basically 10 1/4 to the bottom of that green. If it was, you know, again, depending. This green border could be cut off and become covers for little minis. And I have to say, I just love this. It's not, whoa, so sorry. This is like a table runner, but it's not very long. I'd say it's maybe a yard or so. But I love this so much because, again, it's that stained glass look, rich, vibrant colors, that burgundy that I love. However, when I tried to iron it today, there must have been a difference in these fabrics, that when they were washed by whoever made this, if this part is flat, then there's this quite a sharp crease in this band here. So, you know, it would have been awesome to be able to just use it as it is, because it's like cover and inside cover all done for me. However, because of this, I think that I'm going to have to end up taking it apart, which is fine, because of course a person will use all the pieces, you know, as we find them. But I just love this so much. Let's just quickly measure this and see if it's... Okay, so that's 11. The other thing, if I took this seam out, then obviously I could iron that crease flat and, you know, everything would be hunky-dory, as we like to say. You know, there's a lot here, a lot of possibilities here. So I will be thinking about that as I get some of my other stuff done. Okay. Am I almost done showing you stuff? Oh, I also found a bunch of paper. And I basically, and I do this all the time. If I, and I know Kim Newberg does this as well. When she thrifts something, she automatically folds a bunch. I think her magic number is 10. She folds 10 sheets of whatever, whether it's a ledger, a book. In my case, it may be, you know, like stationery. Well, that's not stationery, but you know what I mean. Stationery that we sometimes find. So I have I have a couple of 4-drawer filing cabinets, and probably maybe 3 or so drawers are just full of signature pages that are folded. So this is a digital. It seems to me this was a freebie from somebody. So, you know, really lovely. So I've just basically put some of these sheets away. Now, you saw this earlier. Here's a sheet that doesn't have a corner missing. There were 2 of these, so I thought, well, okay, I glued the edges, cut a notch, and I'll probably sew these top and bottom just for a little extra strength. This paper is thin, and this would have been like in a package. So one night while I was doing other things, I just spread these pages all over the kitchen island and cupboard or counters and spritzed them with coffee. So top and front and back. And I folded all of them. So those pages are ready to go. These are old papers, you know, when they were still, 2000, when they were still printing all this stuff on the back of the page, like, but again, no problem covering it up. So more paper. Now with some of these papers, you know, it doesn't matter, like I could have, let me just open this up. So if this ran like this, it wouldn't be a big deal. There are more, not sure where I put them, more directional papers where you can't exactly have Santa, you know, or a snowman on his side or whatever. Don't know where this came from, but it's pretty graphic. So again, I fold some inside and outside and whatever. So all those pages are ready to go. Now, I'm not concerned that most of them have a white background because, you know, so what? I can stamp them or ink, you know, just stencil a background design on them or whatever. Almost done here with show and tell, I think. Found another bag of stuff. Okay, there are those joy letters. So I just have those here. You know, here's a tag from the Gap that has a snowflake on it. Slap some decoration on there and you got a tag, man. This is from a calendar. This obviously came out of a book, and I must have had the foresight to take the pages out and back them on cardstock. So again, putting these in the right kind of journal, you know, where the theme sort of works, is, you know, most of the work is done right there. So I have these paper, or were these supposed to go? Oh, don't try to put a J on a Y. Ah. So somebody cut, okay, I see. If I cover those up, then I have however many. If I don't, I have twice as many. This must have been something that I did in the past. And these are napkins that I obviously stuck on some, probably, what would that be? Avocado dyed ledger. So again, these are all basically ready to go. This is some of that wrapping paper that you will have recognized, have seen before. Blah, 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 blah. Tissue paper, I guess. Wrapping paper. These are backed and sewn. So again, not going to take that much to finish them. I haven't really, well, I'll have to find some lace. And I guess that in some of these, sorry, this will be the last thing I'll show you. The other day, well, again, maybe you haven't seen it. I bought, I think 5 of these. They're 10 by 13. It was from an art store. They were on sale. These things, supposedly the regular price is $10. Well, that's crazy. Anyway, got them, I think, for $3.25 each. Now in hindsight, I should have bought more. Anyway, but they're proving to be very handy, because as I'm doing some things, I'm creating pouches with different themes or colorways in them. So this is sort of the blue one. So I'm throwing everything in there. So to me, blue and silver go together. So there's some white and silver lace. I even threw this, not that, but this thing in here, which is, what do they call this? Well, it's piping essentially, but it's small. Excuse me. So I can, of course, I should take a piece off, not take this whole thing. I can take some of that with me and just glue it between 2 pages, and already you've got a, you know, a sort of a decorated pockets or decorated, signature pages. This must have come out of an invitation kit, because I've got all these, I've got millions of these in these pre-cut lengths. Okay, and in this one, I've got, oh, I know where it was. Okay, there were all these Norman Rockwell pages, so I just trimmed them. Pretty well awesome on both sides. Like, the man was a genius in terms of capturing sort of Americana and everyday life. So there are all these, and now I'm not folding them because I don't know exactly what I'd be doing with them. Then these are some of those calendar pages, and I essentially, whoops, that's not the one. I think I cut these down to something like 12 by 11. So not high, not really, you know, probably the right size at this point, but they can easily be cut down some more. Who said purple can't be used with Christmas? That's, I don't know, that might be out of an Ideals. So I've pre-folded some that I think would be, excuse me, you know, for a tall skinny. I also have things like this. Beautiful cardinal. Oh, these were the sorts of papers I was talking about. You know, you can't very well, and I just would usually have singles of some of these. You can't exactly make this go the other way, so it pretty well needs to be a tall skinny. But aren't some of these just gorgeous? Oh, these have to be old too. Provo Craft. Oh, 2003. 2000. Let's see. Okay, then this is like stationary, but again, couldn't do it sideways because then that tree would be lopsided. So what I did was glued a scrap of lace in between the two papers and then sewed top and bottom to make these tall pockets for tall skinnies, and did a notch as a reminder. Here I use some giant rickrack. Again, these were pages that I had multiples of and that didn't lend themselves to being, you know, the other way around. So, my lovelies, I think that's all I have to show you. I've talked myself hoarse, and just to hammer the point home, I think if you look, oh, sorry, false alarm. Found a few more things. Well, it's still back to fabric. Now, I showed you the other day, these were oven mitts and things like that, or stockings that I'd taken apart. So there were these scraps, sort of a serged edge on them. You know, someone more sensible probably would have thrown this away, but I just sort of ironed it. Because I'm thinking for snippets, you don't need much more than that. This was a tassel or something. And then I also ironed this ribbon. This was with it too, I'm not sure why. I just sort of ironed the creases out of the ribbon because it was kind of sad looking. And then I found these little poofy, tiny bit of batting in them. These poofy little tree ornaments. Now these have to be also about 25 years old. They're a bit frayed, but I think in the right journal, they could fit right in, you know, and they're not actually that thick. So, you know, if I put on a couple more little embellishments or glue a sentiment on or whatever, they are done and ready to use. And this is the fringe off those little pieces of plaid that I had. And then the rest, the bigger pieces, so those 3 big pieces from that bundle I bought the other day. Couple of these, a couple smaller pieces. And sort of Marie Kondo folded them, not very uniformly apparently. I did a couple that way, and anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I have enough materials here to last me a few years. And basically, between Christmas tags, old Christmas cards, old or new Christmas cards in your stash, gift tags, tissue paper, wrapping paper, fabrics that you probably have, gift bags that you either bought or received gifts in, you've got work for days and you've got supplies for days. So I really hope that if, like me, you have never done a Christmas journal, maybe this is the year to do it. Because goodness knows, we've got all this stuff to work with. Oh, I also pulled out my, where are the rest? Anyway, bundles of rickrack that I think, you know, could and should be used. So anyway, I have to get to work, and I hope you do too. So have a wonderful day. I hope that if you are here for the first time, that you've kind of, you know, enjoyed what you saw and feel inclined to subscribe, to like, to comment. And if you're a returning viewer, then thank you so much. I've been gratified by the people who've been talking at my channel and the people who listened to the suggestion and came over and seem to maybe have found a new home here. So I'm grateful to you. It is Thanksgiving Sunday here in Canada as I'm taping this, and we all have so much to be grateful for. That you know, whether we celebrate now in October or the Americans in November, or you know, any day of the year, it's a good reminder to be thankful for what we have, who we are, those that care about us and support us, and you know, our very existence. So I wish you nothing but good health, prosperity, and the time and desire to tap into your creative side. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.